The Zylstra plan that he mentioned after his retirement, sometime around 1990, he was the Bank for International Settlement, the Basel chairman. And it was in the early 90s or mid 90s. He said, they're all going to get in trouble. The Rothschild central banks are all going to get in trouble. They'll load up on gold quietly and they'll revalue gold to be 5 or 10,000. And that'll enable them to escape their insolvency. We're witnessing it now. It's not a future event. It's in progress now, which means we could be looking at an overnight doubling of the gold price in the next several months. It could happen like in late 2025. It could happen in mid 2025.
Financial analyst Jim Willie, known for his contrarian views, has drawn attention to Donald Trump's controversial plan to manage a potential U.S. debt default if elected. Willie likens this approach to controlling a speeding bus without brakes, predicting that gold prices will rise regardless of Trump's actions, even for seemingly unrelated policies. Indeed, gold prices are climbing, showing a 50% retracement from the recent decline of $2,483.74 to $2,353.19. This surge is attributed to safe haven demand amidst geopolitical tensions and anticipation of the Federal Reserve's policy decision. The current market conditions suggest a bullish outlook for gold, benefiting from geopolitical uncertainty and expectations of a weakening U.S. dollar. Simultaneously, the BRICS alliance is considering expansion, with China leading the charge to strengthen the group and challenge Western economic dominance. China's support for Malaysia's potential induction into BRICS underscores this push for growth. However, this expansion is not without controversy. Recent reports indicate that India is hesitant about BRICS expansion in 2024, preferring to pause new inductions for 5 years to establish clear rules and policies. This stance contrasts China's and Russia's eagerness to expand the alliance rapidly. Willie emphasizes the potential significance of BRICS as a future gold-based global trade union. He warns that countries not joining, particularly the Five Eyes nations, USA, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, may face severe economic challenges. The push for BRICS expansion is closely tied to efforts to advance de-dollarization, which could significantly alter the global economic landscape. China views this as an opportunity to counter the influence of the U.S. worldwide and promote its trade and commerce policies. Please tune in for our exploration of Jim Willie's expert analysis. Don't miss out on future content. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay in the loop. We appreciate your support.
The other thing that Donald Trump is going to do, and it's going to affect a lot of things, he has put on record, in my first few months, I'm going to manage the U.S. government debt default. He said that. It's not like, oh gosh, he's going to defend against it. No, he's going to manage it. It's like you got a bus going downhill at 80 miles an hour, and they're going to try to manage it. They can't hit the brakes. They can't stop it. And as he tries to manage it, gold will go up. I'm not sure he's going to succeed in his objectives, but gold will go up with almost every single thing that he does. Chris, this is really exciting because during all this mess, we have something happening in a very hidden manner, and that's something that Andy Schectman has brought up, and you're probably well informed about this from Andy. But the central banks are loading up on gold, and they're playing little accounting games. And to me, Andy just filled in all the background blanks for a point that I've been making, a forecast that I've been making for 2 years. The central banks are going to get into a lot of trouble. They're going to face insolvency. They're going to be looking at a lot of unrealized bond losses, just like the big banks. Big banks have had 700-something billion dollars in unrealized losses. Well, so does the central bank, the Fed, and the others. And the way they get out of it is they revalue gold much higher. I've been saying it for 2 years now. It's the Yelly Zylstra, the Zylstra plan that he mentioned after his retirement, sometime around 1990. He was the Bank for International Settlement, the Basel chairman. And it was in the early 90s or mid 90s. He said, they're all going to get in trouble. The Rothschild central banks are all going to get in trouble. They'll load up on gold quietly and they'll revalue gold to be 5 or 10,000. That'll enable them to escape their insolvency. We're witnessing it now. It's not a future event. It's in progress now, which means we could be looking at an overnight doubling of the gold price in the next several months. It could happen like in late 2025. It could happen in mid-2025. So I think Andy put it in terms of don't even think about selling your gold because this is coming. Imagine someone who sells his gold and suddenly it's worth twice as much. That's cause for getting drunk and incoherent for a 2-week period. We are at the edge of something very magnificent. And I think the magnificent aspects are end of the Ukraine war, wreckage of the Geneva group of Uber lords, closing down the border, moving to a gold standard, and the United States entertaining the thought of entering BRICS. I'll make a very simple statement. Countries that don't join the BRICS are going to be outside looking in, and they're going to have severe economic problems. It is going to be a global trade union, and it's going to be gold-based. A gold foundation for a global trade union, and the principal nations that are not going to be included will be the Five Eyes. England, United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. They're not going to be in it. They're going to face severe economic problems for not being in it.
The BRICS nations are making significant strides towards developing a new financial system. Financial analyst Jim Willie has highlighted critical developments in this process. According to Willie, BRICS countries are implementing an intermediary measure that utilizes 60% of their currencies for transactions within the alliance. This move represents a significant shift from traditional dollar-dominated trade and aligns with the bloc's broader de-dollarization efforts. A crucial component of this evolving financial system is the potential integration of digital versions of national currencies. Willie suggests that digital iterations of the Russian ruble, Chinese yuan, and possibly even the Iranian rial could play pivotal roles in this new economic framework. Russia, in particular, is making notable progress in this arena. According to a recent report by the state-run news agency TASS, the Bank of Russia, the country's central bank, is poised to launch its central bank digital currency, the digital ruble, for widespread use as early as July 2025. The digital ruble has been developing since August 2023, with the Bank of Russia conducting a comprehensive pilot project. This initial phase involves approximately 600 employees from 12 banks rigorously testing various functionalities. These include the opening and closing digital wallets, wallet top-ups, person-to-person transfers, and automated payments and transfers. Let's get back to the interview.
There was a combination of objections for too radical a move to the BRICS gold token. And they decided, well, let's do an intermediary measure. Let's have some, 60% is the two different BRICS nations for their own currencies. And it's whatever currency they want. And India is like this little outlier. Well, not so little. India is a very important outlier in this formula because they're saying, well, we choose for some transactions the UAE dirham. That'll be their currency. The agenda and the progress, and it was significant progress at St. Pete. And I have about 3 or 4 pages in my my June report, just last month. The agreements involved a lot of details. There was a trial, like an experimental run of mBridge. And mBridge, this is according to my understanding, and it may not be perfect understanding, but I do the best I can. I'm covering a lot of things. But the mBridge is a device, not a device, it is a protocol. And it's designed to be fast, to be cheap, and to be free from interference like weaponization. All right, so it would be conducted and satisfied on the blockchain and free from interference. The United States could not say, well, we don't like you, and we're not going to let you use it. We don't like you. We're going to take our marbles, and we're going to not give you any of our marbles. Okay, that's what the United States has been doing now for close to 10 years. And it has prompted the creation of the BRICS union. So mBridge is fast, cheap, and free of interference. And that is the protocol. And what they've not told us is, well, how are they going to do the transfer of gold? How are they going to do exactly the transfer of the two currencies? And I believe we're going to see XRP. Russia has just announced that they're doing experimental usage of XRP on the blockchain. I think it's going to be much more widely used. And what I foresee is a goal where a lot of countries decide on using maybe 20% of trade payment to be done in XRP. And this is how you get to $2, $3, $4, $5, maybe $10 in the next couple of years. I'm not making this stuff up. So the St. Petersburg Forum was a BRICS conference. They made a lot of progress on the unit. They decided on Enbridge. They actually made some improvements and enhancements based on their experiments. And the only thing they're not talking about is, well, what will be the vehicle? It's like you got a highway and you got, speed limits and all kinds of different rules on the sign. Like, don't drive on the berm, don't cross the center line. And they never said, well, what's the bus going to be? I think it's going to be XRP and maybe a couple of others. We're very likely to see like a digital ruble used. We're very likely to see a digital yuan from China. And we might even see a digital rial from Iran, Persia.
Considering the contrasting views within BRICS regarding expansion, how might the alliance's future composition affect its influence on the global stage and its ability to challenge Western economic dominance? Share your perspective in the comment section. If the video resonates with you, join our community by subscribing to our channel and enabling notifications with the bell icon. Thank you for being a part of our community.